Wow, this chapter is amazing from head to toe, to insane Bonnie powers, to Gear 5 Luffy's return to the fight and his new powers, to who finally shows up at the end to help the Straw Hats, and the confirmation that we've been waiting for in terms of where we're going next after Egghead. An insane chapter, so make sure to stay tuned for all of that, and especially the twist at the end. It's one of the ones before a break too, and you know those are always especially crazy. Chill the parking within and smash that like button if you enjoy seeing these One Piece videos and want to keep them coming. Make this the video you join the Nakama by subscribing and hitting that notification bell to turn on all notifications. We are very close at this point to 2 million subscribers here on YouTube. Can't believe I'm saying that. So you can help us reach that insane goal right now by clicking that button. And now without further ado, let's jump into it, spoilers and all. So last chapter we left off at Bonnie about to be killed by the pacifistas. Yes, Kuma's original body was hugging her and thus trying to protect her, but the irony was, as Saturn pointed out, that she was about to be killed by the clones of the very man that agreed to make clones to save her. Saturn actually takes joy in this tragic irony, saying it's a fitting end for the insect she is. Man, Oda is doing such a good job of making him hateable and laying the groundwork for the oh so satisfying defeat of this dude. Anyone else realize the irony of him calling others insects while he literally looks like a spider? And yes, I know spiders aren't actually classified as insects, but close enough from a layman's perspective. Before the chapter ended, Vegapunk said something that will be very important for this chapter. He said, "When I heard you'd become a pirate, Bonnie, there was one awful possibility that flashed through my mind, that the Navy might order the pacifistas taking your father's form to shoot his own daughter without realizing the irony of it." Or I guess in this case, realizing the irony of it, but savoring it. Luffy, for his part, said he can't eat anymore at the end of the last chapter, which pretty much gave us the big clue that he's eaten enough so that now he can rejoin the battle. And last but definitely not least, a destroyed marine ship had marines on it scrambling to tell Kizaru that quote-unquote they, whoever they were, went to Egghead. And yes, everyone was wrong about who this was, although I'm still hanging on to the hope that the revolutionaries will join the party, since it would be so perfect and fitting at this point. I mean, come on, you got the Warrior of Liberation here, you got Kuma here, you got Kuma's daughter and the biological daughter of another important revolutionary. Like, come on, Dragon, what are you doing? So that insane cliffhanger leads us into this chapter called Always Be On Your Side. And as you might imagine, after the latest chapters, it's probably referring to Kuma always being by Bonnie's side. But then again, maybe it's also referring to our surprise guests always being on Luffy's side as well. The cover art is Robin dressing up a crocodile on a beach, and I don't always mention cover stories, but one of the top girls, Robin, and a kind of shout out to the Alabasta arc. I gotta show my vocal appreciation for that. In this chapter, Vegapunk continues where we just left off. He was talking about the possibility of Bonnie, as mentioned, being killed by a pacifista after she became a pirate. He feared this, and so Vegapunk did something Saturn literally told him not to do.
When I specifically asked you not to?
He risked his life and put a secret program in all pacifistas based on Kuma. In other words, Vegapunk put Bonnie on top of the pacifistas' authority hierarchy, so she's even above the 5 elders' authority. Wow, that's a huge and amazing reveal. One, despite all his talk about being a scientist, it's funny how Saturn couldn't actually figure out that Vegapunk tricked him, as he said he'd be able to do. And two, massive props to Vegapunk. He definitely seemed amoral until we met him, interested in science rather than doing what's right. But wow, that is the furthest thing from the truth now, and that's clear, where he literally risked his life and the potential to keep researching in order to save Bonnie. Mad respect for that. And I think it's clear at this point that Vegapunk deserves to be a Straw Hat, even if that's probably not his destiny as a member of the older generation. Vegapunk then says an absolutely beautiful line. He says to Bonnie, "Even if the whole world is your enemy, your father will never betray you." That's a manly tears level moment right there. Vegapunk also asks Atlas to tell Bonnie that she has the highest authority to control pacifistas. When Bonnie says, "Daddy, stop, help us to escape from here," and quote, all the pacifistas turn on the Marines. What a beautiful twist, and it warms the heart. Then finally, not great scientist Saturn realizes what Vegapunk did, and he immediately stabs Vegapunk with his leg. Now I'm sure this will be sad, but hard to picture any devastating long-term consequences because there are so many Vegapunks and backups. But if all Vega clones go, then we can start to panic. Saturn orders Kizaru to kill all of them. Sanji and Frankie try to stop Kizaru, but Frankie is pierced by Kizaru's beam. Sanji, as one might expect, fares better and blocks one beam, but ultimately he too is pierced by Kizaru. I don't think though that he'll stay down with his newly awakened powers, but we'll see. I low-key hope Sanji can get up and distract Kizaru at least while Luffy deals with Saturn. I don't think that should be too much to ask for at this point, but who knows how Oda wants to structure this. For now though, Kizaru goes for Bonnie. We've seen this strategy before by the Kizaru stan Lucci. If you eliminate the higher authority, then you can regain control of the pacifistas. But as Kizaru is about to kill Bonnie, Gear 5 Luffy appears to stop him. And these spoilers say, like I just said, Kizaru was about to kill Bonnie. So we have to wait for the official translations on Sunday, but if that's true, the Kizaru secretly being on the Straw Hat side theory is not looking good at all. I love what happens next though. We are told that Kizaru is blown away by Luffy's punch. As if to pour salt on Kizaru's wound, we're told it was just a normal hockey punch, not even a new attack. Luffy then uses his powers to turn the ground to rubber, like he's done before, and saves everyone who is falling. Saturn then stares at Luffy in silence. We finally seem to be getting the Luffy versus Saturn fight being set up here. After that, we see Kizaru sitting on the ground. He's holding his head after being punched by Luffy, but seems fine. Bonnie rushes to help Vegapunk, and he reveals to her that Luffy is Nika, the hero she's been waiting for. Then in an amazing double-page spread, we see Bonnie crying and looking at the sky where Luffy is doing Nika's pose, the same one that appears on volume 103 on the cover, and it seems fitting for the sun god to be in the sky like that as others look up at him. Vegapunk continues saying, "So you haven't realized, but I also wouldn't have believed it before witnessing it with my own eyes." That Straw Hat Luffy that had Kuma's attention turns out to be Sun God Nika himself. Bonnie's like, "What?" And Vegapunk responds, "Kuma was right. Buster Call, what good will that do? There are people in this world who have waited centuries for him," end quote. And I love that line. Think about how much terror and meaning the words Buster Call used to carry, and now Vegapunk is just like, what good will a Buster Call do? Amazing. And as if Vegapunk was talking about the ancient robot when he said that there are people in this world that waited centuries for Luffy, the ancient robot starts to move a little with Luffy's heartbeat. The heartbeat that's also been called the Drums of Liberation. So things are in motion now, that's for sure. And maybe I'm just saying this because all the pacifistas are fresh in my mind, but perhaps like Bonnie can control the pacifistas moving forward, this suggests that one of Luffy's powers is going to be controlling this ancient robot and perhaps other similar beings and things like that. Think Eren and the Colossal Titans in the Walls in Attack on Titan. I'm sure it won't be as overpowered as tens of millions of Colossal Titans, but still, some beyond pacifista level creatures or robots fighting for him would be cool. And let me know in the comments if you have other theories revolving around this ancient robot. We then cut to the northeast coast of Egghead Island, and Marines report that an unbelievably large ship is approaching the island. That's a big clue, pun intended, for who they are. The Marines say it's them, no doubt. But I thought they disbanded 100 years ago, end quote. So here again, we have people that have arguably waited over a century for Luffy. We hear voices from a large ship say, should we stop, and then no, break through. In the epic final double page, and thank you Oda for a second epic double spread, we can see the giant warrior pirates ship destroying all marine battleships in the northeast coast. Looks like they weren't satisfied just destroying the kid pirates. Now they're going after the world government. We hear the Marines say, fire, damn it. Why are the giant warrior pirates here? And then the two giants we know so well are of course leading the giant warrior pirates, and I'm referring to none other than Dory and Broggy, who last time we saw them were also showing off how good they are at destroying enemy ships. The two literally destroy the kid pirates, excluding Kid himself, who had the privilege of being taken out by Shanks. Broggy says, look at them, Dory. They're asking why we are here. Dory says, what a stupid question. There's no coincidence in this world, right Broggy? And so we get some unexpected and thought-provoking philosophy thrown in a moment like this. The Marines are scramming, yelling, we have an emergency, the giant warrior pirates have shown up. Broggy just laughs, saying, we're here for you, Straw Hat. And at a moment like this, I can't help but think what Mihawk said that one time, that Luffy has the most dangerous ability in the entire ocean, the ability to turn those he meets into allies. he spent some time with these giants and now they come to help him out when he needs it. I imagine all the friends made along the way will come back into play sooner or later in this final saga, just like this. And of course, with the giants here, specifically here for Luffy, I think it's clear that yes, as we've been hoping for, Elbaf will be the next island we go to. And Dory laughs, saying the sun god. And there are theories that the old Joy Boy was a giant, just think about that giant straw hat that we saw before, so it's possible that the giants will naturally want to gather around the new Joy Boy, aka Sun God. And now, if you enjoyed the amazing family dynamic between Kuma and Bonnie in this chapter, you won't want to miss my recent video about every Straw Hat's family tree explained, link on screen right now. Like and subscribe to help us reach that insane but close goal of 2 million subscribers here on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one.